Hello and welcome back to lesson 8 in my Get Started with Photoshop. Okay, so in this lesson, let's just have a quick look at straightening horizon and cropping. These are two really important tools for photographers and artists. If you're using Photoshop, you're going to want to know how to do this. So I've got my layer here in my layers panel. I'm going to duplicate it with Command or Control J and turn the bottom one off so I've got the original there if I need it. So I've got my layer selected, as you can see. I'm sure you know now with the white box around it, that's the layer we're working on. So here is the crop tool over here in our tools panel. Don't forget, anything with an icon, a little tag on the side of the button has more than one tool on the button. So if you've lost it, it's probably because it's hidden and you have something else selected. So that's where it will be. So as you can see, it immediately puts the crop box around my image. But before we do anything else, let's straighten our horizon. So here is our options bar. We've got the crop tool selected, so we now have the options for the crop tool. In the middle here is straighten. I'm going to select that. Now I would draw your attention to this very important box here, delete cropped pixels. I think as a default, you'll find it's turned on. Turn it off. Because if you crop or straighten the horizon and it deletes the cropped pixels, it deletes them. It does what it says on the tin and they are gone forever. So if later on in your work you are missing a bit of the image and you really want to pull your crop out, you have lost your pixels that were there. So here it would say, if you're deleting crop pixels or you're going to end up with a gap, what would you like me to fill it with? Would you like me to leave it transparent so there's nothing there? Well, you might want to paint on it yourself, so that is an option. Content aware fill will give you, it will draw on pixels from the image, so it will make a good guess what's there and use that to try and fill the gap. I'll show you in a minute. If you use generative expand, you are using AI. And I would just point out that at the time of recording, if you do that, you will be using up your credits. You will be getting so many credits per month on your Creative Cloud account. So when you use any AI, you will be using up some of your credit. I do not know what happens when you run out of credit because I've never done it. I don't use the AI functions myself, just personal choice. You will also find you will probably end up with a content credential on the file, which means it will be there as a transparency flag on social media or anywhere else that AI has been used. So it is entirely up to you. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. I'm just drawing your attention to it if that's what you'd want to do. So here we are. We're going to turn off delete crop pixels. We've clicked straighten and I am now going to click here. I'm going to use the horizon. I've deliberately made this very wonky. I'm going to click my button there, that's my left mouse click, and drag a line to where the horizon ends the other side. I'm not trying to straighten it, I'm following the line I've got, and let go. And Photoshop immediately straightens it for you. I'm happy with that. Hit return, or you could have hit or clicked the little tick button that came up at the top. Okay, so that was straightening the horizon. If we click back on the image, we could crop it. But rather than crop it, so you would just do is, I'm sure you know how to crop coming in and out, and that's quite simple. What if we wanted to add a bit of grass on here? We want a bit more on the side of this image. We've got a subject over here that's looking a bit crowded in the frame. So I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to crop outwards to where there are no pixels. I've no idea what it's going to do because I've not tried this. So let's see. So at the moment, it says fill transparent. If I say content aware fill, I'm saying to it, could you try and fill in this gap using what is in the image? So let's say yes to that by ticking our little tick box. And as you can see, it's actually done a really bad job. The bottom bit is great, the top bit is not. It's given me something very strange that doesn't relate to the image at all. I don't like that, so I'm going to say Command or Control Z to step back, and let's see if we can get it to work the other side just as a demonstration. Let's pull the image out. Let's pull the image upwards actually, because that'll be easier because it's just white. Coming up, I've just dragged it up a tiny bit, so there we have transparency, and we want to fill that in. Let's go tick. And there you go. It's done a reasonable job. We have a gap here. So we've got some empty space here that shouldn't be here. Not great. So I'm going to show you something else while we're here. Let's grab the lasso tool, which is over here on the left bar. And I'm just going to draw around that. This is what I would do to fix this if I was working. I've drawn around it, let go, and it's joined the two edges together. We have so that's our selection. And you know it's a selection because we have our marching ants. And the little floating panel you've probably noticed has now changed. It's saying, what would you like to do? And one of the options is this little bucket. And this is the same as saying edit. If you went down to edit and fill, but this is the quick way. Content aware fill, please, Photoshop. And let's just see what it does. Does it fix it? Yes, it does. So if I go Command or Control D to turn off the selection, we seem to have got rid of that big strange mark it left in the middle, and it's now given us a completely white. It's not perfect, I can see an edge there, but I'm not going to mess around tidying this up. It was a demonstration to show you how to use these tools. So to recap, I've come in, I'm going to step back a few times. Let's get back to where we were when we started. Here's our wonky image. We selected the crop tool. We made sure delete cropped pixels was turned off. We said straighten and dragged our line following the line we've got, not the line we want, and let go. That straightened up the horizon. And then I thought, I might like a bit more space here at the top. So I've dragged my crop out rather than down. It's like the reverse of a crop, really. I've cropped out and I've said content aware fill, please use the image to work out what should be there. Pick and wait and see what it gives you. And this time it's actually done a really good job. If it didn't, you can use the lasso tool to select a piece of the image, and then on your floating panel, or by coming to edit, fill, and saying, you could say you wanted to fill it with a colour. You could say, I'll have a colour actually, let's fill it with green. Okay, and it's filled it with green. So there you go, a bonus for you. There you go, that's how we step. Control Command D to turn off the marching ants, and Control Z or Command Z to step back. So there you go, bit of a bonus. That's how you might use a colour panel if you wanted to put some text there, or if you're just feeling crazy and you want to draw on a blank sheet of paper. I wouldn't be doing that directly onto an image, obviously, because that would be destructive editing. But that's how you might use the lasso tool to fill in an area. Okay, so that was cropping and straightening the horizon. I hope that helps and look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Bye for now.